it starts making for a less than pleasant trip when you start breaking down. And we're broke down in Illinois. I started hearing a little bit of an exhaust leak. Well, I mean, it's had one since I got it. It was just real small. I thought, yeah, the exhaust system has seen better days. The whole thing probably needs replaced, but maybe it'll hang in there. It's just a little leak. And then early this morning, we left really early this morning, I noticed it seemed like it got just a little bit louder. I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna have to deal with that sooner than I thought. Out on the road somewhere, end up in some muffler shop, and you know, I did hope I'd have more time, or to spend more time on the Coachmen going over it mechanically, because there was a repair made by somebody else. Oh, the wind's blowing the door shut. That actually failed. They took a shortcut and didn't put the right bolts in it, and 2 of the 3 came out. It holds a donut gasket up on the exhaust manifold, and you know, of course, at the time I'm driving, I don't know exactly where it's coming from. I didn't know, so I guess a couple of bolts came loose, and of course that hot exhaust coming out, I mean, up there it's like flame started coming out. And then as we're going, I'm like, well, we still got an hour to go to our destination. We're here to fly, and Jay wanted to get stop and get the propane tank filled up. And when it got a little bit louder, I'm like, well, I'll look at it when we get there and get parked. And a little bit louder. Well, here, I think that's probably about when the second bolt came out. So now it's shooting more hot flames, and you know, right at that pipe comes down right by the starter. And the starter Bendix thing on top of the starter motor, part of that housing is plastic. So it melted the plastic. Now that thing, it's all hanging there. We stopped there to take a break for a little bit first, and I had a little bit of breakfast, and I went to start it up, and nothing. No click and nothing. I thought, oh no, that's something's wrong with the starter probably. I kind of was putting 2 to 2 together. I thought maybe that melted the starter wire, or just fried the starter. Too much heat for the starter, melted things internally. Anyway, that's what we're looking at. I'm gonna have to. So we're broke down here at Flying J. So I got tools. I'm gonna take it off. There's an auto zone about a mile away. I'll take the e-bike off, take the starter down, and do that. But you know, but then I also have to get the new donut gasket and bolts to fix that, because I don't want to fry the new one, the new starter, along with the old one. I don't know. And we're only an hour or so away from some friends we have in the St. Louis area. Well, before the state line, still in Illinois, but. And there's a shop and tools and other resources, maybe to run and get help. But the bolts I need, though, I don't think AutoZone has. I think I have to get them. I'll see. I hope they do, because there's no Lowe's around here. They just used that. Never mind. I won't get into all them details. But I got to get with it here. And fortunately, it's early in the day. And even if I got to make a couple trips to AutoZone, it's I should be able to do that. It's nice and clear, fairly warm today, so I need to get on with this. All right, and this is actually probably what happened to it last time. Like I say, somebody didn't use the right bolts. They should have put exhaust manifold studs in here, and what they did was they put a through bolt the whole way through and double nutted it. And they probably did it. That might have worked, maybe if they would have double nutted it tight enough. They might not want to get 2 of them, the double nuts against each other tight enough to lock. So you really got to torque them against each other pretty hard, or put a star washer in between them. So anyway, you can see there's one missing up there, and then the other one's over there. But I'll bet this came loose before, and it fried the old starter, because this starter looks pretty dang new. It's pretty nice. So all right, have to get on with this here. Hopefully this tool here helps me out, makes work a little bit easier. little Black & Decker impact. I'm gonna guess those were, oops, I was gonna guess they were 5/8 and I guessed wrong. Good thing I brought 9/16 with me. That might do it. Now I knew we was kind of rolling the dice, taking the Coachmen out the road like this without thoroughly kind of going over things. I rolled the dice and I lost. So we'll get it. All right, I'm gonna have to grab that. All right, the starter's down and out, and actually this end piece must have been made out of fiberglass because it has this. What's left is that fiberglass. I guess the glass, or the fiber, fiberglass, whatever. So yeah, this whole piece on the end. Look, it's like, it's all. I don't know. Yeah. Bad stuff going on there. So the wires seem okay. The end of the insulation on it looked a little bit charred, but they're still intact. If not, and I might of course have to give it some wraps or get a new sheet of protective stuff on it. I don't know. It's not so bad. We're gonna fly with it for now. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this here one bolt out of it, because I gotta take what's left of the old donut gasket out of there and take it with me, make sure I get that, and then 2 more bolts to match these. But I'll probably at least add a star washer in here. At some point I would like to, it's gonna have to wait. I don't know. The reason they might not have put the regular exhaust manifold studs in here is because them threads in the exhaust manifold might be stripped, or for whatever reason, or cross-threaded. Maybe they couldn't get new ones in it, and they said just throw bolts in it. I don't know what the reason was, but I'm not equipped at the moment here in the parking lot to get a new tap and, you know, rethread that. And I'm just gonna kind of repeat what they did and just try to be do as best I can, and get this thing together and be on the road again. These little rechargeable impacts are, can't beat them. These are so nice to work with. I'm gonna mess around with their ratchet and. Okay, come on down out of there. Come on, just let loose and. Come on. Okay, I've got the bolt. Take with me. There we go. What's left of that donut gasket? Come on. It's that metal ring. What's left of it? So, all right. I have the dangest luck sometimes. We're back already. Some guy pulled up in a white van. Like a delivery type van, delivering auto parts from Mexico to Michigan, and then he makes a return stuff of Michigan that goes back down to Mexico. So auto parts, right? No, it was legit, you know, nothing funny going on there. A professional driver. Anyway, he stopped and he asked if I had everything I needed. I said, well, I have everything I needed except for maybe a ride to the auto parts store. And he offered. He was in a hurry. He says, I don't have to be down there for days. I'm just kind of messing around right now, taking his time as he goes. So he took me down and back, and I have everything. There it is, a new starter, and new donut gaskets. I'm only doing the one side. This has the truly independent dual exhaust, so they're not connected with a wide pipe like a single. It has dual, so it's only this side. But I went ahead and got, even though this packet was already open, which was good because we compared with whatever I did with what was left of the old one. But yeah, They're the, I went and got 2 anyway, whether I got to do the other side at some point or a spare if this decides to let loose again. I got the all new bolts. Gonna just replace all 3 of them. 2 were missing, but that one was still there. It's getting all 3 new. Somewhere here, some grade 8 flat washers. Oh, the door almost shut on me. No, they're not lock washers, but I don't need them. These will actually work better with what I got. These are self lockers. So instead of having to use trying to use 2 nuts to jam themselves against each other, these are an intentional interference fit. They go on and they kind of get snugged up and tight. You kind of got to force them on the rest of the way, and they stay put. They're not like the nylocks that have the nylon insert. Those would not work. That nylon would probably melt after a while, and then they'd lose their lock, and they come back off. But these type of self lockers are that's kind of ideal to find those. I was so happy to see these. I'm like, yes. They only take 1 on each one. I won't have to double nut them. So yeah, I'm gonna get this here put together. There we go. We got 3 brand new bolts in there. So I gotta work that donut gasket in and get the slide this flange up on there. Put the washers and nuts on it, and that'll pull that up against that tight. We should be in business with that. And then I'll get the starter in it. Thing is, this is easier to do with the starter out because the starter was in the way. It'd be hard to get the 1 bolt in the way it hangs back here. So I want to make sure I put that in before I put the starter in. And presto magica, it is all together. New donut gasket, new bolts with self locker nuts on it. I think that's going to be taken care of for a while. Those self lockers, those won't come off there. So that's better. All right, we'll see about getting this starter up in here. All right, there she is. The new starter's up in there, and hopefully we're gonna be okay. All should be all fixed now. New donut gasket and bolts, new starter. Yeah, that died as a result of all that hot flame shooting over and melting that piece. So yeah, we should be okay now. I went ahead and hooked the battery back up. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, while I was down at the auto parts store, I should have got that new clutch fan everybody keeps telling me about. I know it's bad. Makes a little, it's hard on gas mileage and makes a lot more noise than it needs to. Well, the starter works again. Yeah, I need to get that fan replaced. That's next on the list. Alright. That fan is one of those things I knew early on that needed replaced, and I've been it's just been non-critical. Yeah, I could probably save a little bit on gas and it'd be quieter, and it's certainly something I want to do. It's up on the list pretty far, but it just didn't quite make it before we left the garage. It was just time. I'm like, that can wait. I don't care if I do suffer a little bit in gas mileage. I need to get out of there and get on. Once I get out where I'm going, I'm gonna set up camp for a while and just hang out and do some reorganizing and just go ahead and get this cover off. And I'm gonna go get some stuff ordered ahead of time that I know I need. Some tune-up parts and new cap, the distributor rotor cap plugs and wires, and maybe a can of carburetor cleaner. Wouldn't hurt to look at that, and just, even though it seems to work really great, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to hit the linkages and, you know, the choke thing, and give it a little shot while I'm there. Air filter and just some usual maintenance stuff, and of course that fan. So we'll get to it. Oh, and that guy that gave me the ride, you know, it was only 1.4 miles away on his own. But time he was kind enough to take me there, take time out of his day, even though he wasn't particularly busy, as he said. Then by the time they rounded up all my stuff, I know I was in there 15 minutes anyhow. But he happily waited and brought me back. Then I asked him, I said, well, let me give you something for, you know, your time. I said, let me just buy you lunch, you know. And he said, that'll work. You know, one good deed deserves another, right? So I give him $20, so I'll be able to get a pretty damn nice lunch for that, right? Maybe even a decent dinner. So anyway, and now the Coachmen's all back together, and we can get on our way. We didn't lose too much time. Now I can proceed to go over and get the propane that I came here originally for. Top it off with gas, and we'll get on with our next leg here. We might make a little stop at the very, very tail end of Illinois before we cross over into Missouri. Maybe sneak in a quick visit, and we're gonna start getting on. It just seems like this trip is just off to a rocky start, and it's nothing to do with the breakdown. It's just nothing's going smoothly. We got just never mind why we're off to a little bit later start getting out of here than I planned today. I just had to take care of a couple of things, but then when I do get ready, I go over to the propane to get propane, and use the intercom phone to say, hey, I need propane out here, and there's nobody available. There's nobody certified and available right now to do that. And then I go to use the gas pump, and I had the other one's just not cooperating. Some error keeps coming up, like the card reader, and then something else that says I've never seen before. So I thought, all right, heck with that, I'll just go over to a different pump, and it goes through a different errors and says please see cashier, and yeah, so go prepay. I mean, it's not one major, it's just like all these little things just aren't kind of going smoothly as they normally would. It's like it's some force trying to tell me that it's trying to hold me back. I don't know, but I need to get a big day or two in here. We're only a quarter of the way, only about 500 miles from the garage now, and of over 2,000 miles to go. Completely, we're 500 in, so we're about a quarter of the way in, 1,500 some miles. Things haven't gone as smooth as they could. There's a lot of road ahead of us. I need a couple of big days, a couple of big trouble-free days, and if I'm ever gonna get out there.